Hello and welcome to the potentially final match of the Galactic Pod Racing Circuit. We've got a hell of a match for you right now. Everyone has seen both acE and Mike playing. They are almost undisputed, 1 and 2. King Bean's also in that conversation. We've got it's hard to say too much. It's hard to say enough about how skilled these two are. And I am Enfro, joined by Game Draco.
Hello everyone, welcome to the grand final round of the tournament between two of the greatest players in the history of this game, between MikeyBurger and acE.
Has acE gotten the 50 out of 50 yet?
Not quite, but I know Mike held 50 out of 50 back in the day too.
Yeah. But they are two of the most prominent runners we've ever had. But they've both been involved in two of the best individual rivalries the game has ever seen, with acE and Game Draco years ago, and just last year, Mikey and Game Draco years ago, and just last year with acE and a runner we're not going to name who has left the community. It is always exciting to see players of this caliber racing each other.
Yeah, these players are so skilled and have such low death rates. I suspect a lot of matches are going to come down to who slips first.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Yeah. Mike is just ridiculous in tournament. He's only died 15 times in the entire bracket. It's insane. acE has 27 deaths overall, which is also absurd. The average player has died 125 times in this tournament. Granted, that's skewed a bit, but it's just such a high number compared to these two. Now, we are starting this match with Adobe Mountain Run. This is a track that Mike was one of the very early pioneers on, from what I know.
Yeah, he was the first to break the 4-minute mark, and I was the second.
And acE has just taken the track to a whole new level with Fast Canyon that you'll see later on. Like, he does one of the most intense switchback sections in the game without touching the brakes once.
Which is extremely difficult to do with Ben when he's so stiff.
Yeah. All he does is go off throttle some. That's it. It's incredible to watch. And it's hard to the point where I've spent probably 12 hours just grinding that segment, and I'm not great at it. Like, I think I've gotten it properly once. But it's crazy to see sometimes.
Oh yeah, both of them. Oh, that was a little nasty pocket Mike took, but they're really close.
Both players have given us the ready.
Okay.
Let's see some speed hypes in chat, and we'll give them a countdown.
Doing the countdown now. Countdown has been given.
Now we're just waiting on both players to start up. No, King Bean, we've just, we were doing a couple minutes of intro and hyping things up first. Nah, we'll always announce the actual race starting, guys. Yeah, both players are getting ready. Nah, if we're not doing play-by-play, we're not in the actual race yet. Yeah. All right, here we go. This is their restart for the actual race. right.
This is off.
Yep. We're just going to wait for a little
Mic is
sync
off.
up, but this track opens up with that long straightaway, really good for building up some speed, and then a couple of pretty easy little turns, and then you get the first route choice here with what Ace did, and what he's doing here. These off-road segments may slow you down at a base speed level, but the line is so much quicker that you can actually make up the difference. Ace with a small bonk going into the hairpins, and Mike takes them smoothly. That's going to be a very slight time gain. And we're synced up. They're both completely even going off the jump. And there we go. Now, this little segment is one of those weird ones where if you don't do far camera, it's really hard to see. If you have the far away camera like Mike does, you can see a couple of obstacles on that, no problem. But Ace's camera is a lot trickier. They're going to go to the left now and then take the shortest direct route through this segment, which is the canyon. Now, as we said in the opening, taking this canyon without touching the brakes like Ace just did is one of the hardest things in this game. Mike didn't quite get it down, so he's going to come out about half a second behind. Or, yeah, about a little over half a second. Yeah, then this 10th segment, this little shortcut, only opens up on the second and third laps, and it saves several seconds on that, overtaking the standard line. Now that we've talked through the direct bits of this track, anything to add on? A little bit of flavor for it, Draco.
Well, this is kind of crazy to see this going on between these two players, because they both were like two of like the top 3 players of this game ever in the game, probably. And we are doing this, so I know Mike and I were the first major rivals back in the day, but this is crazy. And
yeah,
now we're going into the crevasse.
And like I said, let's see if Mike can make Fast Canyon this time. He's looking pretty good so far. No, not quite. Final corner. Ace lost a little bit of speed on that one too, though, so it's not as bad as it looks, but it's still a little over a second now. Oh, that's a death from Ace, though.
God. Whoa!
Okay, that puts a...
This is what I mean by matches coming down to who slips first.
Yep, and that puts Mike... Enters that at 2:49. That puts Mike 3 seconds ahead of Ace. That's not something you can make up from the mistakes Mike has shown so far in the canyon. It would have to be something catastrophic.
Yeah, and you cannot count on Mike to crash because his death rate's so low.
Yeah, no, you can never play around Mike making a mistake. Like, you have to assume he's going to do the track perfectly. And here we go. Let's see what happens. We're going to have to see what happens at this ending. Taking the same line as usual. Ace is still quite a bit behind. We have to see what happens with Mike in the canyon. This is the last real point where something can really sway this race. Tiny bonk, nothing too bad. Ooh, that's a bad one.
Bad one, but still not enough.
Yeah, no, it's not going to do it. Or is it? Or is it? No, okay. It looked weird.
That crash did it.
Yep. Ace actually made up almost a full second.
Yeah.
That's kind of impressive to make up over almost a second on that final lap alone.
Yeah.
But now we're going to get into the track permabans, and we'll see where things go. But that is a 1-0 lead for Mike.
I have a gut feeling on what they're going to ban.
Yeah, we'll see what comes up, though. This is... All right.
He's banning Baruch Coast. No surprise there after how horrible Mike was previously there.
You're shouting into your mic a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's banning Baruch Coast, which is not surprising. Mike is a beast on that track.
acE, it is 1st to 7 for this one. And how do the track picks and bans go? So after the first race, which is determined by banning circuits, then striking individual tracks, players will get to ban 2 tracks each that are out of play for the entire match. And then after each track, the winner of the previous track will get to ban 1 track that is out of play for the next race. It sounds more complicated than it is. It's pretty simple.
Well, that's a surprise. Fire Mountain Rally and Mike Bain Ando Prim Centrum.
acE is specifically banning out tracks that are mistake prone. Because he knows he can't bait Mike into a mistake. He's trying to pull Mike to tracks where he can match Mike's consistency.
And Mars
banned, so we might be seeing a skip force out of acE. Which means Inferno ban.
Inferno, no surprise there.
Yeah, good pick from Mike. Although I don't think acE has really done much of Inferno skip without Mars. So that's probably not the ideal ban, actually. Because Inferno skip is near impossible without him. See what acE comes back with here, though. I'm expecting a Doug Derby pick from him at some point. I don't think he'll come out of the gate with it.
I predict acE is going to force a skip at some point in this match.
Oh, he's absolutely forcing skips. The man found most of them.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Abyss skips. Okay.
I didn't expect that.
It's what I handed Mike his first track loss in the tournament on.
Yeah, but Mike was the one who found the skip.
Yeah. MK, you did miss Mike winning on Andobi Mountain Run. But other than that, you're good. But we're going to Abyss skips. And while Mike was the one to find it, acE did kind of revolutionize it. He found some faster paths for it. But this is going to be an interesting one because Mike's consistency is a lot lower on skips.
Yeah, it's his weakest link.
Skip. acE plays on keyboard, and Mike actually plays on a flight stick. You'll see some very smooth turns from him because of it. And acE is going to be a lot twitchier. So we're going to be seeing 1 sand edge from both of them. That's the default for this. Unless you're doing the 1-lap variant, in which case you're going to typically be going Bullseye Noir.
Or Mars Glow at lower frame rates, since Bullseye is really difficult to use at low frame rates on this skip. Because I know when Mike and I did this skip back in the day, all we used was Mars. And I know that Mars is still slightly faster than Land Sandage for the single lap of this skip.
Yeah, Juan is not actually that fast for single lap. He is by far the best for 3-lap, though, just because his climb is more consistent.
And far more energetic.
Yeah, no, he launches. To the point where you can sometimes just explode.
Yes, I
with no good reason.
Too when I tried using him.
All right, players have given us the ready. We're going to give them the countdown, and we will hop into this. This skip is very much a blink and you'll miss it thing. Both players will be done in under 35 seconds. Probably under 25.
Yeah. Yeah, you can pull a time. The record is just under 20 seconds for free lap, and the lap record is
under 3 seconds.
It's under 3 seconds, yes!
It's like 2.68, I want to say.
I think it was like 2.3 with Bullseye, but I know Mars can do like 2.6, 2.7.
Yeah. So yeah, this skip I define as the skip I always call our weather tenko. Not because it's nearly as difficult as skipping all of Chaco Mountain, but just because it works on almost the exact same theory, and it looks fairly similar.
Oh, Chaco Mountain from Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, Weather Tenko is just going straight up a wall with a slingshot. So here we go.
Oh.
Both players are climbing the wall. Ace with a near perfect climb. Mike slightly delayed. Ace is going to be about 12 seconds.
Oh,
Mike
no!
died and lands on the penalty lap. That is over. Oh, never mind. What? That exists?
How did he salvage that?
I didn't know that
Here we
existed.
go.
I mean, obviously Ace still wins, but I didn't know that recovery existed.
Yeah.
Huh!
And 25 seconds, that's certainly a new record for the skip in tournaments.
Oh, did someone finally knock me down from that?
Yeah, I think he just beat you. I think you had 26 and Ace just pulled 25.
Yeah. Damn it! That was my last tournament record.
Okay, Mike not banning anyone.
Yeah, but we are now 1-1 with a blink and you will miss it abyss.
Yeah. This is the only track where probably the skip is easier to do than the full track.
Oh, by far. The full track is insanely hard. Also, I like that the victory lap puts you down in the penalty lap.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. How ironic.
But with no pod ban, I'm expecting a fairly technical track to be banned by Ace. I don't think he's going to ban Grabvine Gateway because he has gotten so much more consistent on that track than anyone else that I've seen.
Food to training, of course.
Okay, never mind. That makes sense, though. Mikey is absurdly good there. He's got the tournament record.
Yeah,
Ace is currently third on that track here. He's 0.6 of a second behind, though.
Yeah, Mike got 135.9 tourney in his match with Metallica.
It's a very short track, but it's so optimized, and Mike has done it for so long. He's gotten it down to a science. The man has, I want to say, 350 hours on just that track. That 1.5-minute long track. Bumpies with a no upgrade force.
That's interesting. I did not expect that one bit.
Yeah, not from him, no. You don't expect Mike to do a no upgrades one. So I guess that means he's been grinding out Bull's Roar.
I seen him in his match with King Bean Dip in the grand final where he did no upgrades on GB Grabvine Gateway and Fire Mountain Rally to knock them off of King Bean Dip.
Yeah. But I don't expect bumpies on you. Yeah, this King Bean, you're right there. Sorry, you Draco. He started off the tournament not liking it. He just kind of grounded out over the course of the tournament, which is incredibly impressive.
I wonder if he's forcing it so that the skip won't be done later.
Yeah, Ace would be doing the new skip probably.
So I think he's doing that to take it away from him.
Yeah. And it's... Yeah, that's not a bad strategy. Either Ace wins on it and the point's moot, or Mike wins on it and Ace has to run it back. So it is a really, really strong pick now the more I think about it.
Have you seen
Alright, both players have shown us they have no upgrades. So, for any newer viewers, no upgrades changes so much of the game. Not only is your top speed lower, your cooling is lower, so you can't boost nearly as much, and your acceleration is lower, so any mistakes that cost you speed cost you so much more time.
And especially with bowls when his acceleration is really bad.
Yeah, but it's also your repair is very low, so any damage you take is potentially punishing.
Yes. Particularly with bowls, which has one of the worst in the game. If you take heavy damage with no upgrade bowls, it's actually faster to crash than gut through it.
Yeah. Both players have given us the ready. I mean, it's definitely possible to not to go with an option that doesn't wind up crashing. I had an engine go red with bowls in tournament and figured I'm halfway through lap 3. I might as well just damage the other engine to red and try to power it through, and it worked. But it is really hard. Oh, Ace. Do you want to give the players the countdown?
Okay.
And now Ace is just driving around. No skip. It's players can choose to force no upgrades on a single track whenever a couple times per match. It's 3 forces for each player in this setting. So 3 times during the match, a player can either say no upgrades or with skips for a track.
Or you could use any combination of skips and no upgrades.
Yeah. Alright, we'll have to see how the shortcut goes, like King Bean Dip saying in chat. That's almost 100% going to be the deciding factor. Either a bonk or a crash is going to cost so much time in there.
And it is extremely difficult to nail with no upgrade bowls when his turning and traction is so low.
The low traction makes the low traction actually kind of makes it easier than high traction. Just because sliding is so good for it.
Yes. And you should see them boosting down this straight.
Yeah, they want to max out heat before this big switchback section coming up. Just because if you cool down all the way through it, and a little bit after, you can get another full boost. It takes 38 seconds for Bowles to fully recharge his boost from full heat. Just for perspective, with the max upgrade bend they were using, it takes about 9.
Yeah, I think that's about 10 seconds exact for max upgrade bend.
So now you'll see them start their boost coming into this straight, I believe? Yeah. And this will time out pretty nicely for them to stop here and recharge through the shortcut and that whole segment. The boosts in no upgrade speedruns have been so heavily optimized in the past few months because there's been a bit of a resurgence of people doing them.
I started the trend about a year ago since I was the first player to do no upgrade.
Ace opting for the long shortcut and Mike going perfectly through the short version.
That is crazy. That is really hard to do.
Ace opting for the lower risk, and he's actually doing what I think is something kind of ill-advised in trying to bait Mike into mistakes. Mike did lose a little bit of speed on both the shortcut and the hairpin, but he is still notably ahead because of how much shorter of a line that shortcut is.
It's like maybe 3 to 5 seconds over the path Ace took.
Something like that. 156. That is really good.
Yeah.
The 3.5 second lead for Mike just from one shortcut. I really don't agree with taking the long version from Ace. Because Mike has to fail the shortcut twice. But I mean, realistically, I guess either route option has about the same percentage chance of working out, because Mike is so unlikely to die.
Ace is almost caught up to Mike.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Alright, yeah. Mike, Ace is definitely going to be able to make up time elsewhere on the track. He's just having much tighter lines across the board. Oh, Darkrai, don't say there's no way to fail. There's never zero chance to fail. Oh, bit of frame dropping from Mike. Not a big deal.
Here we go.
Going through. That's a pretty big bonk. He fell to 4-8.
Massive bonk. That all depends on how it does here, because that bonk. Let's see if Ace pulls ahead because of that massive bonk Mike took.
It's not going to be immediate. It's just. Oh, that's a weird line from Ace. He almost screwed up that hairpin badly.
Uh-oh. That was another massive bonk Mike took, and now he's under 400. This is where Ace is going to try to catch up to him.
Nah, he's at 550. He's only 30 base speed behind Ace right now. 158 compared to a 158. So they're about even to where they were last time. So Mike has to make a more significant mistake than he did there. He has about a 3-second lead over Ace. Any reason to keep the track map up or not? A lot of players, it's just preference. I personally use it for some visual cues for some turns.
Same with me.
But a lot of players just view it as a distraction, such as Ace.
Oh yeah, Ace is gutsy enough to use no map with Gravine Gateway, where the map really gives you cues.
Yeah. Now they have... Ace has pulled even. Ace looks like he's pulled even, but remember the shortcut.
Oh yeah, they're about dead even now. Now Ace is like slightly ahead now. Like, just like a fraction of a
A
second
lead
ahead.
this big doesn't matter on his own. Mike needs to get both of those bad bonks at a minimum for Ace to hold this. And they are on different heat. Mike's on lower than Ace, so he's going to have a little bit more to work with.
Here we go. Goes for it.
Oh, red engine.
Massive in the red, but
He's trying to power through. This is going to be a super wide line on this turn at minimum. Okay, he's opting for the death. That's going to do it. It was an intentional death.
And Ace is pulling ahead now because of that.
Yep, that's going to do it. If he hadn't gone red, he would have been able to do that. That still came out really close, barely a second apart. That's gonna be 2-1 for Ace, though. Alright, Ace banning out Boon to training course. I'm not gonna be surprised if I see Ace go with ban Ben Boon to training course skips later on in this match. So that's been a pretty powerful option against players who haven't been able to grind that one out as much.
Yep, I know that was what happened to you and Mike.
Yeah. Still salty about that one, Metallica. Alright, so Boon to training course has been temp banned. Aquilera's classic no force. With no ban. And this is the just fallback comfort pick for most players. It's not a difficult course. It's something most players have gotten comfortable on. And it's short enough that one mistake can be crushing.
Particularly at this high level.
Yeah. And acE is very beatable here. Yeah, he's incredible at the game, but this track has been worked on by so many players that a lot of players have gotten to an incredibly high level on it.
Yeah, Mike goes back a decade on this track or more.
And he goes back a decade on every track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And acE started in, I believe, early 2018, so it's been about 2.5 years.
Yeah. Mike and I go back to 2008.
Yeah.
We should expect to see Ben Quarnaros.
Yep. acE going with a higher traction setup than I'm used to seeing from him. He's going R100. Huh.
Outlanders, they come
So for new reviewers again, just a quick explanation. Traction upgrades are not always an upgrade in this game. There's a lot of courses where lower traction means you can take certain turns tighter via drifting. This is kind of one of them.
It's also the reason why lower frame rates are sometimes more optimal on some tracks, is because of this greater drift.
Yes, frame rate lowers your traction, changes your durability, lowers the force of gravity of all things. It's
same with traction.
Yeah, it's weird. They tied so many things to frame rate. But this track is one of the kind of middling traction setups most of the time. Like, I personally play it at 48 FPS and mid-level, like a mid-level traction upgrade. Feels pretty good here. Players have given us the ready. And we'll throw them in with a countdown.
Countdown has been given.
So this track is fairly simple. So there's not going to be too much analysis to give. There are going to be a couple of spots that are going to warrant something deeper than standard play-by-play. But that's about it. We're just waiting on players to restart for the actual run. As I said earlier, this is one of those tracks where one mistake can very much cost you at higher levels. Not every track has a threshold like that, because some of them are just long enough and technical enough that mistakes are almost inevitable. This is not one of them. Right. And Mikey's away. So this track opens up on a long straight with just a couple of minor slalom-ish obstacles. You want to typically cut very close to them and then just take corners as tight as possible, like everywhere else. And holding that little boost like Mike did isn't something every player goes for, as evidenced by acE not doing it. He likes to break this boost up. These little gates that Mike did move on later laps, so they are one of the only mildly threatening obstacles on this track. The other one is coming up in a few seconds from Mike. So we've got this little uphill segment, which can actually be a bit of a trap sometimes. I know I've lost runs to that trying to be too greedy. But then this figure 8. This is one of those spots where it's really tricky to keep your heat optimal. And Mike came out of that with lower heat, so that half-second lead that acE has isn't really a half-second lead. Mike has just used less heat, so he's boosted less and can boost more on these later laps.
Yeah. Valkyrie
Here-
has a very distinctive pattern to it. On the second lap, it's the left side that is more optimal, and on the third lap, the right side is more optimal with the gate patterns.
Yeah. And then we're
Nice.
going back to this uphill. And then we're going to go up the straight into the figure eight again. Both players are on much more similar heat this time. Mikey is lower than Ace again, though. See if that bites him, because he might underheat with that. Not quite. 52.25, and that is the exact margin from lap 1. They are neck and neck. Ooh, Mike did drop that boost a little early.
That man did it. Oh, he's holding.
He held the boost, yep.
He's caught up because he was able to save it there.
And Mike on a good line there. He's at lower heat. We'll see if he can overheat at the line, or at least come close to it. This might come down to just who has higher heat at the line itself.
Oh man, he almost caught up. Now he's going a lot more aggressive.
Yep. Alright, see who has a cleaner hairpin. Mike kicked out a little wide. Ace did not. Got some frame drops. They're boosting here. Mike got it.
Beat it by 1/10 of a second. No,
Jesus.
it's actually 800ths of a second. Mike wins by 800ths of a second.
And they
That is
approached
one
it
of
with
the-
different strats. That's one of those things where it's something Ace has been saying for a while now, and I've been echoing the preaching. Boost patterns matter far less than having clean lines like both of them did. And Ace is taking us to Zugga skips with no Ben.
Oh man, this is probably going to be one that I suspect Mike's going to get decimated on because he has. This is one track that he banned, and I'm surprised he didn't ban it.
I mean, my question is, and I'm assuming he's not going to go for it. Does Ace go for double or, dare I say, triple skip? Because Zugga has 3 skips that you can chain together.
Yes.
I don't think he will, but he can. And that's something to always consider. And yes, King Bean Dip, there is no Ben. I think Ace has practiced something that he's about to show off.
I'm not so sure. Is he gonna? My guess is he's gonna be. I'm really curious to see who he picks here because this is gonna be crazy. Okay, looks like Ace is tweaking his traction.
What traction did he just go to?
The lowest R20.
Huh. I'm not familiar enough with...
He's using Mars.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to. It's a skip. I'm not familiar enough with the more recently found Zugga skips to know the optimal tractions for them. King Bean, Mike's bans were... Let me
They were
scroll up.
Executioner and Endoprime Centrum.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sold on Endoprime Centrum. Executioner, I know Mike can't stand.
You come back, huh?
Alright. Excuse me,
Have
didn't
you
sleep that much.
seen, my chance cube?
What are you doing here, Mike?
They come here.
Okay,
they
he's
look
going minimum
around,
traction
they
as
don't
well.
buy. Why nobody buys?
Oh, he's going for the triple by deliberately going on the underground path.
It might just be double, because the third one is the hardest. Oh.
And
Oops.
that's what can happen.
Nope.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's coming up. 'Cause
I
this
have
is-
no idea what's going to happen.
Like, Ace, I think, is going to go for something crazy.
Okay.
It's
Ace
the
just said
middle...
he's-
Yeah, I don't know if it's the first or second skip that is the hardest of the 3. But I'm not sure I don't think he's going to do all 3. It's just so inconsistent. All right, both players have given us the ready. Let's get into it.
Captain has been given. Let's see what happens on Zaga.
God, I'm gonna have Duel of the Fates stuck in my head for weeks. Just waiting on stream delay to catch up for the players. And then we will get treated to a bit of a show on Zaga Challenge. Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just, after a little while, no matter how good of a song it is. Oh, God. We all do need more Duel of the Fates in our lives, though.
Probably the best piece of music on the whole prequel trilogy, easily.
I don't know, Battle of Heroes is really good.
Oh yeah, that's great. But then, soundtracks for the prequels and the original movies are just great in general.
Yeah. Alright, but we are off. We were also off topic, but let's fix that. Alright. So, we're off. Zaga Challenge on its surface is a very simple track. The tricky aspects of it come from it being long. And the skips, but...
And also the sucker-punching dozer at the end of this track.
Yep. I mean, I trust both players to have very good dozer awareness.
I'm not so sure with Mars, because...
Yeah, it's not a matter of Mars, it's a matter of time. As long as you know where it's going to be at a specific time.
Here he goes.
There we go, first skip. Do we see second skip?
And... Nope.
Nope. Okay. I can respect that. The first skip is more consistent. Wait, did Mike just do it?
Mike did the second skip while Ace bucked him.
Well, okay, Mike. We see you out here. And the second skip is much bigger than the first. That... Alright. And Mike does the main skip. Ace does too, because it's, you know, his thing, but... Okay!
Mike is ahead on the Zaga skip with Mars Bow.
Did Mike just bait Ace? Well, we're not seeing Ace go for triple skip, but we are seeing all three skips. What the hell? Alright. So, let's watch Mike for a sec. This skip can do that! Oh man. It involves riding that wall and jumping through a large turn. However, if Mike makes the third skip again, he can make up most of this time. Or second skip again, he can make up most of this time. God. It's also entirely possible for Ace to botch this skip, which he didn't, but... Ooh, 9-second there. It was a few seconds in the first one, so I believe it's, let's see, 302 through there. It's about 5 seconds.
Just about what a def would do.
If Mike can make third skip, it does not make that time up. He'd have to be cleaner outside of it, too. Alternatively, Mike can go for all three skips in a desperation play.
Mike is not a player who usually goes desperate.
No. I would have respected it. Ace is not going for second skip. Mike is going for it a third time.
Let's see.
Nope. That's gonna seal it.
That seals it.
Oof. That would have been so good. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Ace takes it. Oh! Crashes into the dozer.
It doesn't matter at this point.
I know, but
Yeah. That was unfortunate. That was a really cool one, though. Like I said, these players were gonna put on a show there. Alright, I'm going to be right back.
Mike not banning any pod. Okay. He's banning the book to train course again.
Sorry about that. Had to see what the dog was getting up to. Game Drake, could you just say something? I want to make sure I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I just
Sorry about that.
mentioned how Mike is not banning any pod and Ace banning book to train course again.
Okay, I mean, Mike just likes Ben mirrors. He always has. Skip, it is legitimately just that the skips on that track are super high variance. No matter how good you are, the second skip is not consistent. So that one's just gonna happen. But let's see where Mike takes us.
Gravine Gateway, no upgrades. I'm not surprised one bit when he's probably trying to do it to knock Ace, take that really beast of a track down with Ace.
Yeah, this should be a fun one, though. Also, Ace's OBS has crashed. He will be back momentarily.
I mean, Mike did this against King Bean Dip too, because King Bean Dip was also a real beast on Gravine Gateway himself.
Yep. And at the start of this tournament, like before the tournament started, King Bean spent a lot of time, and I watched on stream trying to figure out who the best no upgrade pod was for this track, because Bowles is just a beast to control here. Turns out it is Bowles. But Sebulba and Ben are both competitive.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you used Sebulba in your match against King Bean Dip because of that.
Yeah. I mean, I just like Sebulba for no upgrades because he has much better handling than either the other high tiers for it.
Yeah, definitely. But, I tend
But we're
to
going to be
use-
seeing a bowls mirror on the most turn-heavy track in the game. It's gonna be something.
Yeah, this track is, and it's pretty much the hardest track in the entire game.
Yeah, and if you're playing, it's in the top 3, no question. But when it comes to playing the optimal pod on it, I would say Baru Coast is harder. Like, Ben on Baru Coast is so hard.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you
Ace
have
does
this-
not look comfortable on that warm-up bit.
Uh-oh. Well, I know Ace hasn't done no upgrades as much as the fully upgraded and the skips.
No, but he has done a lot of no upgrades.
No. He's only 3 to do upgrade ILs for every track along with the Bayou and Doro.
Yeah.
Are we
Not
starting
opting
on
for
the-
that. Okay. And I guess that little skip isn't actually faster on bowls. A little corner
A
cut.
lot harder to do. It's really easy to take a block and lose speed there.
Yeah, I assumed it wasn't actually that great to do.
Oh, Ace said his stream crashed again.
Working on it. So, some technical difficulties.
Yeah. But this track is so frightening to do because it is so winding, so dark, very tough track, especially with no upgrades.
Yeah.
Okay, Ace is now ready. We can do the countdown. Countdown has been given.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is going to be... It's another one where players are going to put on a show in one direction or another. It's either going to be a mess because bowls is so hard here, or it's going to be ridiculously impressive for the same reason.
Yeah. He's the most optimal, but he's also supremely difficult to use, which is why Saboba is sometimes a bit safer.
I mean, that's just me.
That's just you.
Yeah.
I know in my case, I use either Mars or Bullseye because they are significantly easier to use.
Yeah. I don't know, I also just really like Sebulba. Alright, we've got a bit of technical difficulties with Ace's stream. We're working on getting that back, but Mikey is away. There we go. He's just having some OBS issues. Alright, so here we go. Reasons this track is difficult. Number 1, this canyon section. This alone would put it in a very high tier of difficulty.
And there's an even more difficult part coming right after this.
Yep. So then you have this very tiny breather, which even has its own difficulty because that's a very narrow road. And then the jungle itself is reason number 2 it's hard. Because you can't see very far ahead of you. And at such a low fog distance. And then you...
And this is the hardest part, the swamp.
It is also the part that's the most practiced. And there we go. Mikey is through it very cleanly. Ace is going a bit slow through it, but he's through it cleanly as well. They both... You have to drop your speed quite a bit for that section.
And it's one of only a few places in the entire game where you have to use the brakes regardless.
At max upgrades, you do not. Necessarily. Off throttle is, I believe, enough for most of it. 148,
148,
50. All right, about a second
149.
lead. About a second of a lead for Mike. However, Mike did have much higher heat. I'm not sure how much Ace underheated on that, potentially.
I'm curious to see what happens with the Quake shortcut, because without upgrades, it sometimes is not worth it to take this Quake shortcut on laps 2 and 3. Oh,
They're both
look
going
like
for
they're
it.
going
Both took it pretty cleanly.
Really clean by both, yeah.
Whew. This... God, I love watching this track. Ace does have higher speed than Mike right now. Bit rate's a little questionable right now, but we can at least mostly tell what's going on. But Ace is at higher base speed, both at very comparable heat going into the swamp. Oh, Ace hits a tree!
Crashed. Ooh, that is like the worst possible place to crash on this track because of how...
Not really. You're at high heat, and you're going to have to be going slow through the next segment anyway.
Yeah.
So, realistically, a start of Swamp Death isn't as punishing as a lot of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Granted, you don't get to take as much advantage of the high heat because you can't really boost in the swamp. But it's not quite as bad as like a low heat death in an area where you're about to be able to boost long.
Yes. But there's not many places to boost on this track in general.
Now, this track is... it is a monster. In my books, it is the hardest track in the game. At all upgrade tiers.
For me, I consider it the second hardest after Abyss.
Yep. Yeah, Freak, this is a track where you definitely want to just... any chance you have to boost, take it.
Yeah. This is why fully upgraded, like Bullseye is faster than Ben on this track, because Ben can't really optimize his absurd boost at all on this track, and Bullseye's agility makes it far faster than him fully upgraded.
Yeah. Let's see where we go through the third and final swamp. Nice line for the start for Mike. Really nice lines, actually. Nice from Ace as well. Mike has a fairly substantial lead, though. He's ahead by a turn.
Yeah. Whoa! That was a risky boost Mike took it. Ace is going for it, too.
They got it.
Both got it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Uh-oh.
Oh, Ace with the... Okay, I don't know if Ace's stream has crashed or if it's just frame drops.
323. Not so sure. And it looks like Mike takes it.
Yep. Ace has given us his time in chat. It was a 5:24.513. He came within 1.2 seconds with a death. Wow. Malistaire 100. Ooh. This is a track of extremes. 90% of it is one of the easiest tracks in the game.
On the other 10%, a brutal hairpin.
Yeah, the hairpin is... There are a few tracks in the game where one turn determines the entire thing. This is the epitome of those.
And it's most optimal on this track to go for the lowest frame rate and the lowest traction so you can slide the whole way through that hairpin.
Yes. Under our tournament rules, that means you're playing at 24 FPS with the lowest tier traction upgrade. Ugh. All right, but we're at 3-3, and we're going to a fun track.
Yeah, this track is pretty insane. I know I held the world record ILs for the Metal Star 100 track for 6 years.
Yeah. And your time was like that record of yours, even though it wasn't the record at the time at the time I was doing it, was my goal time when I was first learning this track.
I know.
It's very much the threshold for good run on this track.
And I did it also too with R600 traction, which is...
Yeah. And you could probably go back now and beat that. I know you haven't been doing much upgrade, but you probably could.
Yeah, but still, that was...
Yeah.
Okay, both of them are getting ready.
So, apologies to anyone who doesn't like watching stuff at lower frame rates, but this is going to be 24 frames per second for both players, I believe.
Yeah, this is a track that's most optimal. 24 R20.
Mikey needs to restart his game real quick. A few of us have really crash-prone installs of the game, and we're not sure why. Mike and I are two of them.
I remember reading about the Steam version being more crash-prone than the GOG version.
Yeah, I'm considering buying it on GOG because of that.
Welcome to Watto's shop, huh? Take a look around.
Mike,
Got everything
okay,
you need.
Don't buy that traction upgrade.
He knows better. I mean, that's what's knocked him for a loop in that race against Metallica.
Yeah, Dr. Owens. These two are top 3 players, just worldwide.
In the history of this game, pretty much.
Yeah. At least as far as we know. There could be someone who's just been grinding it offline since release, but... I don't know. 7 billion people, there's probably someone out there. Alright, we're just waiting on Mike to give us the ready. And as soon as he does, we're going to go into it. Is Ace about to get a... No, he's not about to get a 44. He is on 45 pace with just his warm-up run. All right.
He get 145 on a warm-up.
Okay. That is certainly something. We're just waiting on Mike. Our players just going? We never got the ready from Mike and never gave a countdown. Okay, Mike has just given us the ready. Ping both players before the countdown.
Going right now. Countdown has been given.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting right into it now. Excuse me while I close my blinds. That is some glare. There we go. Oh, Ace's OBS has crashed again. He's restarting that. We're going to be desynced for this, which isn't a big deal.
20. So.
Yeah, I don't know his frame rate because he doesn't display it. Which isn't a big deal. Okay. Well, Mike's away, and we can actually commentate this. So the first couple turns are both actually not crash-prone, but you can definitely screw up there. Like, there's room to make an error. And then this boost that he might hold, no, he doesn't go for it. And then, technically, the left route there is faster. It is fast terrain, and it speeds up your pod to drive on. And Mike goes a little wide there, so he might be on slightly high frame rate. Can't tell. That's a 36.19. That's not super fast for lap 1, and acE is away. Since he had that crash, so we're just going to be watching back-to-back. Right. So the back half of this track is really fun. Like, it's just super smooth. And actually, they're like close to being synced, even with the crash just a lap apart. So this is the jump that frustrated many players as kids. acE going super tight and clean on the hairpin. That was nice. But that hairpin defined this track.
Yeah,
1.9, that's pretty low.
And I can tell that Mike is certainly not on 24, and acE is.
Yeah, no, Mike is, I want to say, still playing at 60.
Because I play on the 64, and 64 is fixed at 24, and acE looks awfully like the N64 handling.
Yeah. And Mike is... Actually, he might be on 24, because that was fast.
145! Whoa! Let's see what acE pulls off.
That really didn't feel like a 145, just from those hairpins. And acE is looking decent here. We'll see how his last hairpin goes, because that's going to define things.
Ooh. Lost the boost.
Wide. Bonk. Ooh, that's going to cost a little bit. I don't think he takes it.
45. Yep, Mike takes it by
0.2.
0.02 of a second.
No, that's 0.2.
0.2 of a second. 0.2.
Freak Axel, the frame rate affects primarily handling stuff. Basically, you have lower traction at lower FPS, which is good for individual hard turns. All right. So that's a 4-3 lead for Mike. And we're really going back and forth on these. And it's just going to be another Inferno ban from Mike, more than likely. And acE is either going to be... acE is unlikely to ban Ben. It's probably going to be either a Mars... It's either going to be like a Mars or a Bulls pick to throw Mikey a little bit.
Ban Mars, no surprise, like you said, Pro.
And Mike is probably going to ban out Inferno again. He's just not super comfortable on the track, skips or no skips.
This will be fun. Was acE going to force a skip?
I don't think he's going to use a force right now. We're only halfway through, and he's only got one. He's only got one left. Scrappers run.
Scrappers run. Okay.
Okay.
No forces.
This is Ace doing what I've been saying should be the strategy against Mike since last year's tournament. Take him to shorter tracks where you can match his consistency. Because the more opportunities for error you give, the more opportunities for error a track gives when you're against a player as consistent as Mike, the less likely you are to win because you're more likely to make those mistakes at those opportunities. All right. Play it. Has Mike learned the jump? We'll see, King Bean.
I don't think you can do the out of bounds jump on scrappers.
I mean, you can. It's not counted as a skip by our current rules.
I know it's not counted, but the angle of the ramp is so much higher that it's a lot harder to do compared to.
Oh no, different out of bounds jump.
Oh,
Mike knows the out of bounds finish on the other two.
Oh,
it's a jump after what Ace coined the speedy tube last year, and that name has stuck.
Oh, I know that one. I've seen Mike do this a little bit.
So Ace is probably going to demonstrate it right here. Oh, and he holds the boost into the tube. Nice. Yep. This is the jump.
Aha. Oh, I've seen this before.
Yeah. It doesn't save that much time, but it looks cool.
That section of the track just kills you. If you hit that wrong, you blow up. If you crash into that caution wall, it blows you up easily.
Yeah, it's much higher damage, just from how it's structured, more or less. 37.7, that's pretty good for a warm-up lap 1. Alright. So, Ace has already showcased a lap of Scrappers. It's a fun track. It's one of my favorites to grind. I think his OBS just crashed again. Let's take a quick look at players have given the ready, if you want to give the countdown. I'm just going to take a quick look. Ace's tournament PB on Scrappers is a 151.7. Mike's is a 151.9. So this is very close.
And he just got 150 in a warm-up.
Okay. That is absurd.
You got 150 in a warm-up.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here barely having cracked into a 152. Right. So we're just waiting on stream delay. And looks like we are away. Ace is going to get off the line first, just from delay, but we'll sync it up. So, the opening of this track makes us really glad that this planet's primary export is not guardrails, because you can drive right through those. Then this is the speedy tube. It's just a lot faster. Mike not going for it. Okay, so he's basically banking on Ace making a mistake. And here we go. Ace is on the back half already, so is Mikey. And this track is really simple.
Deceptively simple, I would say.
Yeah. Like, it looks a lot harder than it is. Once you learn it well, you can get very consistent on this one very quickly. And I don't expect Ace to screw up that jump. But it is entirely possible for a death to happen. We'll just have to see. Let's see what happens on this turn. Ace is a little wide. Mike gets the boost. He's a little wide as well. We'll see where this turn takes him. Very nice, and he holds the boost. And Ace with a sub 37 lap. Damn. Yeah, Mikey is well behind. No, Axel. The players cannot see each other's feats. And he does not mess up the jump. Barring something surprising, looks like Ace is going to have this. Only one real spot to mess up, and he doesn't do it. Looks like Ace should have this. Yeah, Ace has it, and that's a 150. That is a 150.5. 151.83 is really good. That's still a tournament PB for Mike.
And Ace has now, I think, a new tournament record, since I think the previous record was 151.
Yeah, it was already his. But he just broke it by a second. Like, he just dunked on his own time. Where are we thinking for next track from Mike?
I'm not so sure. Okay, he's not banning any pod.
He never does. Yeah, those bans are never going to change, I don't think. Unless we see Ace go for a Bunta training skips. Ben is the best pod racer. He is the best by far. Just because his boosting is so much stronger than everyone else. Because every vehicle has the exact same non-boosting top speed at max upgrades. It is 649, effectively.
Okay, Ace just said he's going to restart his game.
Mm-hmm. And Ben just has such a strong boost that his average top speed is higher than anyone else.
Yeah, his boost for us is the highest in the game at 400. Second is Bull's Roar at 390. And then third is a tie between Elon Mack and Eldar Beto at 360.
Yeah. I think there's one other with 360. I don't remember who.
No. 350 is Mahonic.
There we go. That's what I'm thinking.
Mahonic
That's what I was thinking.
Mahonic's 350.
Yeah. All right, let's see what pick we're getting. I'm expecting, I've said it before, I'm expecting something longer and kind of technical from Mike.
I'm waiting for him to use Spice Mine Run.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a really good one for him. His big things are, Mike's big thing is just the extremes. He's incredible on the really short ones, just because he's put so much time into them. And the long technical ones, because he's so consistent.
And we're going to the Bunta Classic, no skips.
This track has seen a bit of a renaissance lately. In the past few months, the record has come down by several seconds, I believe.
Yeah, I know Mike recently did the fastest bullseye time on record with it.
Yeah. Alright, so, I mean, it's going to be a Ben mirror. He's just by far the fastest here. He's the only one who can sub 5, as far as I know.
I think he's the only one that's able to sub 5 because like the next fastest in Mars Grow is only capable of like 5 minutes flat.
Something like that. All right. So this track, it's the track from the movie. It's actually a pretty good recreation of the track from the movie, not gonna lie. It even has the service ramp that Anakin jumped off of.
And like in the movie, it's a shortcut.
It is the faster route. It also has more, I believe, more track splits than just about anywhere else. Maybe Gauntlet has more. But
I think Ando Prime Centrum has the record.
Oh, yeah. And that one's just not fair. All right, players have given us the ready. We're going to throw them the countdown and get into it. Oh, Ace better hope he doesn't do that in the actual race. And Mikey better hope he doesn't do that. It is so hard to play.
Yeah, this is one of the world tracks. I think it's actually the second or third hardest after like Grabvine Gateway.
I rate it third for playing Ben. I rate it third for most difficult with the optimal pod. Baru Coast is probably the hardest Ben track to get to a proper time. Grabvine is really hard even with Bullseye. And this one is kind of discount Grabvine, but it's discount enough that Ben is fast. It has a lot more open ground, a lot more straightaways, and just a lot more uses for Ben's boost. It also has about 80% of Boon to Training course on it, which kind of helps Mike.
So Ace is off and Mike is off.
Alright, so you're immediately going to see them take this little shortcut off to the side and go for a very long jump. That cuts a pretty big corner. Mike with an early death.
No!
What?
He just hit it at the wrong angle and then got forced off the service ramp.
No, that wasn't the service ramp yet. That was just he hit a rock. That's huge, right at the start. And both players are going to do kind of a mini version of the jump that you use for the skip here. You can't do the skip, but you can at least cut a corner. Nice lines through here for both of them.
Oh, Ace crashes.
Ace crashes too.
Again.
I don't know. It's looking like Mike's got a bit of a lead because his death was higher heat. It was right after the jump.
Well, being a crashless land on Boot to Classic is pretty miraculous, particularly at the part we're in now at the Tuscan Dune turn.
Actually, this one is very consistent. Ace found, or not Ace, but someone found the RNG seed. You found it? Okay. And now, as long as you time it correctly, you can completely guarantee not hitting flames. You also have to have basically the equivalent of dozer awareness here because the Sandcrawler, that can screw you. All right, Mikey coming in with a 43.9 and Ace coming in with a 45, so it's a little over a second for Mike. All right, and Mike gets it this time. Ace gets it this time as well. Smooth through there for him, and smooth through there for Ace. Very nice early lap for both of them. Let's see how they do through this little switchback segment. This little bit is deceptively hard. Both players scrape the wall and lose a bit of speed. And then you have the slalom here. Not that hard once you practice it. It's a pretty easy route. And then this jump is just optimal line. These arches are actually one of the hardest segments to learn, just because it's fairly narrow gaps, one after the other, in a switchback. And then you get into a nice breather with this long turn that you can just hold a boost through. Then you get the Tuscan Dune turn, which Mike doesn't seem to be doing the RNG seeding. Oh, and he hits the rock! That's a lead back for acE! And now we're coming into the Sandcrawler turn. Both of them should avoid it just fine here. And we're in the canyons. These canyons are fairly easy, even though they are switchbacks, just because they're more or less lifted from Punta Training Course. And both players on the hot flats. It was a 1 second lead for Mike on the previous lap, and it is now a 2.5 second lead for acE after the second lap. Let's see how the start of lap 3 goes. Smooth for both so far. Mike was a little wide there, but it's not too bad. A little bit of a bonk, lost some speed, but fairly smooth through the turn. Oh, and he does not get the ramp. That's going to cost him another half second. Switch back for acE. Small bonk, a little bit of speed loss. Same for Mike. So right now, acE is sitting about 4 seconds ahead. He's going to have to die for Mike to have any shot. But he's got one of the trickier parts of the track coming in here, especially if you take lines as tight as acE likes to. And here we go. Looks pretty smooth through there. So does Mike. Get the long turn for a bit of a breather, which I'm going to take as well. That was fast-paced. And now we're into the Tuscan Dune turn, which both players seem to be taking clean on this lap. No engine fire for Mike.
That was lucky when he
There's an engine fire for Mike. And smooth. It was a almost no speed loss from the engine fire. He repaired it almost instantly. And coming through the back of the canyons, there's one last spot where acE could potentially mess it up, but he's not going to mess up that crevice. Looks like acE is going to take this by a few seconds. 503 to 508. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That was a really nice track for acE. Both players did it well. One of Mike's deaths was really weird. Like that Dune turn death was strange.
He hit the rock.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like he hit an extension of the rock, or the hitbox kind of kicks out invisibly.
Mm.
All right, let's see where we're going. I mean, I'm expecting a similar style of pick from Mike. I could see Fire Mountain Rally coming out. I could also see Vengeance coming.
Fire Mountain Rally was permabanned.
Oh, yeah, it was. You're right. I could see Vengeance, honestly.
Yeah.
Mike actually banning Ben. What's your plan here, Mike? Punta Training Course banned from acE, not surprising.
acE said, I know what's coming, and I have a gut feel what's going to come too.
What's your call?
Gauntlet skip.
Maybe? I don't know. All right. Ace says he's got a prediction. He's going to message it to me, and we'll see. All right.
Let's not reveal it until
No.
after Mike says his.
Mike's game has crashed.
Don't tell me he predicted a game crash.
No. So
Don't
you
say
predicted
it.
gauntlet skips. I know what Ace predicted. I'm gonna throw a wild card out there and say something more middling, like Howler Gorge. This is a best of 13. All right. So we're just waiting on Mike's pick. There's a lot of potential routes he could go here.
Welcome to Watto's shop, huh?
Oh!
Take a look around. I
Taking
got
it
Mike
everything
picked
you
the-
need, huh?
Mike picked his soft permaban. What?
Oh,
Something
this would be
is-
crazy if they do the rematch of Elon Musk again.
They won't.
Because I know. No, they probably didn't. Because he's
It's-
banning Ben. Because I remember this is how.
Actually, yeah,
Because
Bowls is hard here.
No money.
Mars
I
is probably the
remember-
pick.
Because I remember Mike. I remember Ace picking Mars on Inferno and Mike picking Elon Musk, and he beat him with Musk by about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I remember that. Mike is sitting on Mars, though.
No, he didn't. He's banning Ben.
No, he's playing Mars.
Oh, he's playing Mars. Whoa, I
But
didn't
he's
see
hovering
that.
right now,
Oops.
yeah. Well, I don't think anybody saw this coming. Mike's been banning Inferno literally all tournaments. But he was my first match of the tournament, and he perma-banned it the entire time against me. Like soft perma like this. But do we have... Do we have stats for who banned what track? There we go. But yeah, Mike just banned Inferno every race against Digital Unity. Every match against Cylinder. Every match against, or every race against me. But
Oh, the Ace is going with Bowls.
that is brave. Bowls is so difficult to control here. I don't believe Mike has raced Inferno once, has he?
I think he raced it once.
I'm not seeing it on any of his... I'm seeing it as his ban every time. Except against Magus, where he banned nothing. But this is a massive surprise. But
Countdown has been given. Let's see how this goes.
okay, no, he did play it against Lightning Pirate once. Alright, but this first little section is very easy. And then you have this long straight, which is just perfect for a pod like Bowls. This jump, which you use to pre-drift and align yourself for this turn, just syncing up there a little bit. And then a long turn here that you can boost a couple times in. There's a little outdoor segment that it's very tempting to go for a longer boost in, but that is a trap. And then this switchback section, which is real tough. Neither player opting for the faster, harder line there.
No, Mike took it with Mars.
Oh, he did? Okay, I was looking at Ace. And Ace underheating quite a bit, but that just happens on this track, especially with Bowls. 50.18 and a 51.77. That's a 1.6 second lead for Mike. That's a lot, damn.
This is where Ace has the potential to catch up with his stronger boost thrust. And struggles in these bends. It's a very interesting track because you have this super long straight at the beginning and then it's super winding right after that to the end.
It is one of the most technical tracks in the game. It's top 5 for difficulty.
Mike taking the shorter path again. Ace doing the detour.
And he loses his boost again. He does not seem that comfortable with Bowls here. 49.07 lap.
Mars.
50. Okay, he's now 2.5 seconds ahead. But he's ahead by the jump and then some. That, barring a mistake from Mike, I don't see a comeback. Taking the short path again. Granted, that short path is super easy to do on Mars, compared to everyone else. But Mars and Bullseye are the only ones who it's really consistent on, at least out of viable pods. And that's going to be like a 228, 229?
228
right.
with Mars, whoa, that's crazy.
And then a 233 from Ace. That is still a really solid time for Bowls. But that is, wow. We're up to 5-5. Oh, oops. Oh, and then Mike goes right back to banning Inferno. I think he just doesn't want to do skips there.
Yeah, that's why I remembered him doing that.
Yeah, okay. No
Row's
forces.
no forces.
Okay, Death Row's no force with no Mars. So it's just going to be Ben Mirror. And again, it's Ace doing the less technical mid-length track. If you can match the consistency and you have a higher peak, do it. Whoever wins this goes to match point. But But Death Rose, this track is by far the easiest in the Galactic Circuit.
By like a landslide, honestly.
Yeah, it's incredibly easy. I honestly believe it and Scrapper's Run were swapped.
I really do believe so, because Death Rose is probably the easiest of the Ortobana tracks.
Alternatively, it might have been this and Vengeance getting swapped.
Yes.
Actually, it was more likely all three of them getting shuffled around.
Yeah, because Vengeance, I feel like, has a semi-pro or galactic difficulty.
I'd call it semi-pro. And then Death Rose is also kind of semi-pro.
Change your mind.
Granted, I will very bluntly say, to play at a high level, no track in this game is objectively easy.
No, I agree.
When we're saying this, it's all relative difficulty. Because the skill floor for upper level runs of this game is very high.
Yeah, it's absurd. And Ace in particular has really upped the bar for for every track.
Yeah. The skill ceiling has grown as the skill floor has grown. The skill floor for the top level is kind of where the skill ceiling was 5 or 6 years ago. Just waiting on Mike to give us the ready. Oh. And waiting on Ace's stream to come back up. Oh, out of bounds finish. That was a 207 in warm-up. That's really solid. Let's see. Okay, players have given us the ready. And they have been given countdown. So, this track is going to be very simple. Like, there are no bits of this track that I would call technical. Freak, you crash less than a second after finishing. If you spend 3 seconds out of bounds, you instantly explode. You'll see players kind of wait to kick out of bounds. In order to avoid that timer. And it's also why on a bunch of other skips you have to be very careful around it. But whoever wins this basically gets a bonus match point. And if Ace wins this, it is back-to-back tournament point that Mike has to win on. Alright. So you'll notice they both dropped to the lower level. That just lets you take a tighter line through that. And they hold the boost through that little section. Mike was a little bit cleaner on the very beginning. Ace bounced around a little. So Mike goes into that little section just before hitting 31. Ace about the same, so they're pretty much neck and neck here. Oh, but Mike doesn't go for the long jump.
And Ace goes for it.
Yeah, if you hold that boost longer, that's a free half second.
And it showed.
Yep. Just a little sync pause. Mike is cleaner outside of that, though.
Yeah, he's slightly ahead of acE.
No, acE is slightly ahead. The sync's not perfect.
Oh, yes.
Look at the timing for when they both go into this next tunnel. It's pretty much neck and neck. So this is going to be very close. Like, it's going to come down to lap 3. So the reason this long jump is faster is that because it lets you keep that boost going. But that was actually a faster lap for Mike than it was for acE. acE is still slightly ahead, just from his better lap 1, but I think they've broken almost exactly even right now. Gonna have to see where this rounds up. It literally just comes down to who has the smoother very end here. Mike was a little tighter there. And he's slightly ahead. He's a little bit wider through this last bend.
Here we go.
And... oh, God.
acE takes it by a fifth of a
0.2.
second.
Oh, man. That puts acE at tournament points.
Championship point.
And does acE still have a force?
Yeah. My guess is the force he's saving it for is Bunta Train skip.
I don't know about that, because if he screws it up,
Yeah.
Mike's absurd going no skip.
Yeah. Yeah, but acE found that skip and is really fast on it.
It's still not an easy skip. It's very much an opportunity for a significant error. I have no idea what Mike's going to go for here. But I'm out of ideas. Like, acE doesn't really have like a glaring weakness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he
really doesn't like.
He is excellent at everything, pretty much.
Yeah. Like, acE is... you can't ban him out. Forcing skips against him is a bad idea everywhere. Going no upgrades is arguably your best option, but that's still tough.
Mike still has one force left, too. Oh, Mike just cursed that this is really hard to do. I'd be amazed if he doesn't choose Spice Mine Run.
Does Mike still have a force?
He still has one force left. He's not banning any pod.
Bunta training course banned.
Yeah. Let's see what he picks.
You might be right. Spice Mine Run might be the call.
I mean, that's the track he's like one of the most solid on.
Yeah. acE is still just so hard to beat.
Yeah. I mean, he was solid in last year's tournament, but he's a completely different level now.
And acE also had to drop out of last year's tournament.
Yeah.
He was having
won if he had a hand injury incapacitated him.
Yeah. Spice Mine Run. Good call.
Just as I predicted. Just as I predicted. Spice Mine Run.
All right. Mike is rolling the dice. Like, This is his best track aside from potentially Boon to Training Course. And Boon to Training Course, Ace is just never going to let him go to with no skips. Whew. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, Nacho, this is pretty much Mikey's trap card. Axel, I can guarantee Ace has something brutal planned.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't been forced anything because he's going to use his final force.
Yeah, it's either going to be Gauntlet skip or it's going to be Boon to Training skip.
My guess is Boon to Training skip because Ace found that one and he is so brutal at it. I can also see him.
It's still a very inconsistent skip.
Yeah. Yeah, but Ace is like the most consistent at it.
They come here. How do they find me?
Every skip he's a beast on.
Mess up my store. Hey! No.
There's just... What more is there to say about this bit? We're going to Spice Mine Run. It's the longest track in the amateur circuit. And it's just... It's a very simple track at its surface level, but there are so many turns to it that you can take incredibly tight that it's very, very easy to bleed time.
It's also super easy to abuse the booster on this track.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of any other track where it's so easy to abuse the boost on than Spice Mine Run.
Yeah. You just have so many good straightaways.
Because that's where it becomes really technical, is the boost timings.
Not really. There are a lot of different boost patterns that work here.
Yeah.
All right. Giving the players the countdown. Here we go for potentially the final race of the 2020 Galactic Pod Racing Circuit. Axel, or Freak Axel, there are two Axels in chat. Yes, this one is going to be full upgrades. They're almost guaranteed opting for lower traction than the Max, but they are fully upgraded in every other stat. Is on a lava planet. Not a lava planet, but slag mine.
This is also the final track of the amateur circuit, too.
Yeah. It minded me. You could call the energy couplings in the middle of the axles. They connect the quote-unquote wheels.
Here we go.
All right. Whew. So this track opens with a very long straightaway that lets you just run your boost right down to the corner. And then it comes into another shorter straightaway that you can run your boost into the next bend. This bend goes into a three-prong split where all three routes are fast terrain, but this right-hand one puts you on the best line to follow up. And there we go. Both players are, from what I've seen, very even so far. And like I said, they need to take every turn as tightly as they possibly can. This track is very optimized and very easy to bleed out time. It's also very possible to get too greedy in this market section at the end, which Mike did in race last year, like in tournament last year, and it cost him a match, or cost him a track, I believe. 1:14.79 for Mike, 1:15.05 for Ace. That is very close. Whew. Like we said, this is a terrifyingly good track for Mike. Ooh, that's a small bonk for Ace. Doesn't really look like it cost him any speed, but he's got to be careful. You might be seeing some nerves here. And very clean for Mike. Looks equally clean to the mine for Ace so far. Oh, that's very tight. Damn.
You did the wrong sync.
Yeah, that was the wrong sync, minded me. All right. 13:52. So it's 13:52 for Mike on lap 2. All right.
13.73.
3/4 of a second lead for Mike. We're going to have a 10-second sync pause and just watch Ace silently for a moment.
Oh
there we
God,
go.
they're neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, they already pretty much were. Mike dies!
Oh!
Mike dies!
I think that settles it.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
The dozer killed him.
Oh, man. That dozer can block the entire ground level of the track. It can still be gotten past, but it can kill you. If you're on a good enough pace, it can just kill you. And Ace can make what I've been calling the Mikey mistake and clip a corner in here, but it's not likely. Nope. Ace is going to take the 2020 tournament. Oh, that's a heartbreak. Oh, man. Oh, that was a heartbreak. Oh, Ace is actually going to opt to do an interview in German first. And if Mike would like, he can hop up and join us in the English channel. But we're just going to wait and see if Mike wants to hop up here. While we wait for Mike's decision on interviewing. Oh, he joined the German one, so he's going to be getting some English answers in there. So while we're waiting on them, I just want to thank everyone who tuned in to watch for this entire tournament. Huge thanks to all of our viewers, all of our competitors, to SpeedGaming for being with us through this whole thing. We're a very active, steadily growing community. And if you want to take part in next year's tournament or just have fun learning the game, we have a Discord server that we can link in chat momentarily. This one is just, it's a game I have loved playing since I was a kid.
Same here with me, and it's kind of interesting being the veteran of this thing, being active in this community since 2008 is insane.
Yeah. There's just so much to say on it. This game holds up incredibly well. It's available on Steam, GOG, EA Origin. If you want to get it on Dreamcast or N64, you can find that online.
And also have it was also originally a CD for the PC, and just got ported to the PS4 and Switch, and is going to be ported to the Xbox soon.
Yep. I forgot about the PS4 and Switch release, honestly.
Yeah. But I'm was kind of feeling like I really wished it didn't end this way, but I'm kind of happy Ace won after the injury incapacitated him last year.
Yeah, that's a very good story. Coming back from needing to drop out after losers final, or after winter semis last year? Winners finals last year.
It was winners final.
Yeah. Like, after losing in winners finals last year, needing to drop out. It was a hell of a story.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a Mike.
Hey, Mike!
Hello.
Hell of a show.
Right, so I'm in the right place now.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you're in the right place, yes.
I was a bit confused for a minute there.
You just had people speaking German at you.
Yeah.
Still, that was a hell of a show, dude.
Thanks. That was great fun. I loved that. That was brilliant. I mean, I know I lost, but like, you know, it was. I mean, all I really wanted to do was just not do too horribly. You know, that was it. So.
You very much did not do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to 12, which was the most matches of the entire tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, that final death was kind of annoying, but that's just the way it goes. I had a funny feeling I was going to just die there. I don't know why.
I hate that it blocks the entire track.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. And I think I must have changed something about my technique, because I think maybe it's a mental thing, because I used to be fine with it, or... and I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm that little bit quicker, and... oh, excuse me, I just need some water.
Oh, you're good. If you need to get up and grab something, go ahead.
Any trouble with these matches, you sort of get dehydrated. It's like...
Yeah. No, I remember in my match against Nacho, I went through like 3 water bottles.
Yeah, I haven't had much luck against Ace on Spice Mine Run. It seems every time I play him on it, I take a death somewhere. I mean, I had that weird random death at the bottom of the tunnel last time I played with Bowls there, so it's just one of those things.
Bowls, some pods can just kind of die to the ground there. So, a couple of quick things. One, you went for second skip on Zugga?
Yeah. You're talking about the one just past the bulldozer, yeah?
No, the one before the old one. There are
The
3
hairpin.
skips on Zuga.
Yeah, I don't use the new one. I don't even know how to do it actually. So.
Yeah. So you just do the hairpin one?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, you can't really lose doing skips on that track. It's just annoying if you don't get them, but you just have to try it, you know. And I actually didn't think Ace would pick it. I mean, I wasn't like displeased that he'd picked it because I was, you know, prepared as I could be on that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I felt like I had some chance there. I mean, I've done some very good time.
You absolutely did. You had a 2-second lead coming out of lap 1.
Yeah, just again, it's just, you know, I mean, that it is. I think the first hairpin skip is probably more difficult. Actually, I would argue it's just trying to get the ratio right. So when you climb the wall, that you leave the wall before it kills you, basically, because it climbs really, really quick. So, I mean, the first lap, I was praying that I was going to make the jump because
you made it.
Lost some speed. So, but yeah, it was fine. You know, it was just
One other skip-related question. Not even a question, I just didn't know that recovery on Abyss skip existed. I don't think Draco did either.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know what to say about that, really.
Yeah.
I thought that was just sheer luck.
No, I practiced that recovery strategy so that if I ever got into that situation, I mean, it was a bit of a weird one. I don't know if it was FPS issues or what, but I didn't seem to get much height. I don't know if maybe it was I was turning right too late or something, but
I think your launch angle was just a bit weird.
Yeah, possibly. I wasn't quite getting the angle right, and I ended up. I tried to jump under the track on one of the laps, and that was the one that put me on the bottom ramp. So I was forced to do my recovery strat. But oh well.
Yeah. Let's see. Quick question about Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I didn't expect Ace to pick skips on that track. Actually, it sort of surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a high variance track that it's just kind of why not? I could get a free win here.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't catch me out, but I was just surprised. You know, I thought he would probably go for some other stuff that he didn't. I thought he would actually go for more Malistaire tracks. That was one thing I was expecting. He didn't play Doug Derbies. I really thought he'd pick that. So
I always expect Doug Derby from that man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, now I'm looking at it, I think Abyss is your lowest win rate track.
I played it a couple of times with the skips, I think, and
Abyss skips. I beat you on it, Ace beat you on it.
Yeah, I think ours was really close, if I remember correctly.
It was.
Only about a second difference, yeah.
Mine was tournament record until Ace just beat it.
Actually, well, it was pretty close, wasn't it, between all three of us? And, yeah.
Then the last question I've really got for you. You were soft permabanning Inferno literally every match up till now?
Yeah, so Ace was correct in that I didn't want to deal with the skip, basically, because I can do it, but again, I just found it so volatile that I really didn't want to play it, because I've had times where I've played it and it's taken me like 6 minutes to do 3 laps, and I just thought, this is just crazy, especially when all you guys suddenly were doing it in like 30 seconds. I thought, I don't want to deal with this. So,
hey, Ace!
Hello there.
Congratulations on,
Yeah, thank you very much.
Like I said to Mike when he jumped up, it was a hell of a show.
Yeah, when Mike and I talked before the match, we were saying, okay, let's try to give them, if anything, let's try to give them a good show. And
the largest margin we had was Boonta Classic.
Yeah.
And even then, Boonta Classic is just fun to watch.
Ugh, that track, I don't know.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
I love it, though.
Still, me and Ace had a game of chess before the match as well, so...
Nice.
Go from challenging on one game to challenging on another.
Well, I figured, if I lose on this, at least I've won something. No, Yeah, so Ace, no Doug Derby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised we didn't do Duck Derby.
Any
was-
reason you didn't pick it?
Yeah, I was like, okay, my chances on defrost are probably slightly better. I was about to pick it as my second last pick, but then
Okay.
I decided to just go for defrost instead.
If you'd lost on Spice Mine, would you have done it?
No, I would have picked Winter Training with skips.
That's what we figured.
That's what we
Yeah.
thought!
Yeah.
I had a feeling about that.
I mean, my assumption was Mikey was going to ban that.
Yeah, but then I
For
would have
final
picked
track.
Inferno run back with skips.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I,
I
was
saved
thinking.
my last
about.
force for that.
That's why that final pick for me was so difficult, because I was trying to figure like which run back to use, and also like with the temporary ban, like if you could still pick Inferno, which you obviously could. So
Yeah.
because obviously you could use your run back to pick that. So I was still kind of worried about that.
And it might have been worth letting it go to Boonta training skips and hope Ace makes a mistake.
Yeah, I had to make some really difficult decisions on some tracks, but you know, I mean, I really thought carefully about the permabans. I thought maybe, well, I just felt like the ones I banned. I mean, I never wanted to play Executioner. I was actually going to remove it as a permaban against King Bean initially, depending on where we went to for the first track. But yeah, basically it just didn't work out that way. But I didn't want to have to play Executioner in any form against Ace, so I just took that one out, basically.
Or really against most people. You banned that a lot.
Yeah.
To be fair, it made
It's not my
sense.
favorite track, I'll say that.
No, the first tube on that track is so bad.
But the
Like
thing
badly made.
if he hadn't banned it, then I would have picked the track, but we wouldn't have seen the first tube, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would have picked Executioner skips instead of the disc skips if you didn't ban it. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if between Doug Derby and Death Throws, I think maybe you would have had a slightly better chance than Doug Derby. I'm not sure on that one.
It would have been fun to watch. The track's just cool.
well, if you had picked Duck Derby, would you have picked it without Ben?
I honestly don't know. I might have gone no upgrades there. I wouldn't say I have a preference there. Maybe I would have. I probably wouldn't have picked it. It's probably not a track I would pick at the moment. So
Yeah.
I remember
mean, it's-
last year. Go ahead.
I mean, just both of you have such a huge track pool that it's so hard to ban you guys out. And we were saying that at the start, when the two hardest people to ban out have to ban each other out, what happens?
I was a little bit surprised by Ace's Baru Coast ban, because I know he's very good there, but maybe he felt the same way about me. I don't know.
I mean, I know
I
that
did,
track's
I did.
I know that track's a nightmare with Ben.
Yeah, I thought Ace might try and pick Baru Coast, but with no upgrades or something.
Oh, I hate that one. But yeah, I think you are slightly more consistent on that track, and your PB is absolutely insane. I think you have a low 350, so I figured, okay, just get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right, I'm running out of questions here, but one quick one. Why the Ando Prime Centrum ban?
I would have asked the same question.
Well, yeah, like I say, I almost banned Bumpies actually, but because I had something I was going to use on that track, I didn't ban it. So that was the first thing. I thought Ace, well, there was many things on Bumpies I thought Ace might do. He might go for either the skip, or I thought actually he might go for the full track with Ben, because I know that he's extremely quick there. So I'd argue it's probably one of his best tracks actually. So there was that, but I think with Ando Prime, I just didn't have any form of strength on that track whatsoever, really. So, I mean, you know, there was the skip on it, which I just don't like, and then like all the other variants, I would say probably more so than no upgrades variants. You know, I was concerned about those as well. So there was basically no reason for me to keep it on the table, basically. So I thought I'd get rid of that one.
That's fair.
Yeah,
It's just,
definitely.
I don't know, Ace. Would you have pulled that one out?
APC?
Yeah.
No, but I would have picked Bumpy's full track, so he's correct on that one.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
I plan to pick it at some point.
But
Yeah.
then no upgrades came in, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, more or less.
Did the first track go as you expected? Because I kind of expected that we would go to Galactic and probably one of 4 tracks. So, did you think the same? Or
No, I thought we would end up on Suburba's Legacy. I was surprised you actually took me to AMR, because I'm actually, it's one of my favorites doing the full track. And I
Yeah,
was very
Drake-
confident.
Draco
but-
and I were
yeah.
wondering about that, just because you basically pioneered Fast Canyon.
Yeah, and I also tried it in the match, at least the slow version of Fast Canyon, you know. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, I died to the tent at the start of lap 3. But yeah, if I didn't die to the tent, I think I would have gotten a 346 or 47 maybe.
Something like that,
So, yeah.
Yeah,
But
good.
well,
yeah, I was little bit disappointed about my pace there because I suppose it should be grateful I didn't crash, but I mean I was pretty quick through the canyons, but I just kept hitting the wall. I just didn't quite get the line right, so I was just losing like speed. I think on lap 3 I hit it pretty hard. Didn't take a death, but like took some damage, and like my speed went down to like 300. So I was pretty happy really with a 350. It was quite reasonable.
yeah,
But,
the
I
canyon
was
is
hoping-
just
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I was hoping for like a 348, but you know, it's just one of those things.
I mean, just going to reiterate, that was a hell of a match.
Yeah, I'm glad we had some tracks that were that close. There were so many close tracks.
I'm kind of
well,
glad. I'm kind of glad that I didn't win, because then we'd have to do another match.
Then we get more
match
racing.
One match came down to 0.08 of a second.
Yeah, Aquilaris, right?
Yeah, that was Aquarius Classic. It came down to 0.08 of a second.
A bunch of them were within 1 second, though. Draco, did you have any more questions before we start wrapping up?
I don't have any questions, but I'm giving a congratulations to you, Ace. It must feel good after having to drop out of last year's one to take the title again this time.
Yeah, thank you. It really does.
Yeah, congratulations, Ace. Well done.
Thanks. And thanks for the great match, man. That was insane.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It was great fun.
We had more matches here than any other match. 12 matches.
Yeah. Didn't last year's finals go the full 13?
It went the full 13, yeah.
All right. Well, with that, this has been the Galactic Pod Racing Circuit for 2020. Congratulations, Ace, for taking home the trophy, the at least metaphysical trophy, and Mikey for being runner-up 2 years in a row. That's a hell of an accomplishment on its own.
Thank you very much.
Huge thanks to Draco for stepping up and filling in so many commentary slots.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
It was a blast.
Thank you to Nacho Brado and Lightning Pirate for helping out organizing this. Couldn't have done it without all of us, without everyone there. And thank you to SpeedGaming once again for partnering with us to host this. I think that just about does it.
See you next year, I would
Yeah.
say.
We'll see you all next summer.
Definitely.
Congrats again, Ace. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
And
May the
thanks to
force be
everybody.
with you.
Thank you.